Hello friends, welcome to this YouTube video program. Friends, today we will discuss one of the topic that covers your course, that is MES-011 Understanding Education. As you know that we are discussing about different topics of MA Education program offered by Indira Gandhi National Open University. This course MES-011 Understanding Education, this course has been kept in the first year of MA Education program, and in this course, this is the first course. In this course, in your Unit 12, the title of the unit is Education and Education, its Dimensions. So friends, today we will discuss about different dimensions of education, which is in the part of your compulsory course, that is MES-011 Understanding Education. You see, we can say that when we talk about the dimensions of education, you all very well know that education expands one's horizon. The areas of concerns of an educated person increase from local to national and from and you can say towards the international levels also. Educated individuals are expected to be better equipped to meet the challenges of life, increased efficiency, constructive participation in social events and processes, harmony in social and personal relationships, then you can say sustaining development and equitable social order, and some of the other expected benefits also. So friends, you see how education makes our life easy, makes our life competent, makes our life effective and efficiency in different areas, in different sectors. Okay, so today we'll try to understand that what are the different dimensions of education, means in which areas education helps the individual for better equipment with different situations in the society, at the same time to make oneself efficient, productive for this society. First dimension, we will discuss that education as an investment for economic benefit. You see friends, we consider that education is an investment. Education is not an expenditure. This is not an expenditure, just like let you are purchasing certain things, you are giving certain money. So means you are spending your money. But when we talk about or when we consider education, when we think about education, this is not expenditure. Rather, you can say that this is a right investment. Investment means, and you can say this investment is not a short-term investment. Rather, what contribution you are doing for education, giving for education, you will find that the outputs, the products that you will get, that is for lifetime. Even if that is not only for the individual, rather that comes for the benefit of the entire society. So that's why we can say education as an investment for economic benefit. You see, let you spend certain thousands of money for education. This is for the, you can say that this is for only the individual benefit or to get a job. Rather, you can say that the investment that you are making, that is not only for job, rather that is for making the person efficient, making the person knowledgeable, making the person acquainted with different development of the society, and to engage the person in different world of works. Okay, here the world of works means you can engage yourself in many works, in many assignments, in many engagements. Okay, this is not only to do a particular job. Okay, so this is beyond the job. Means it enable the individual to earn the bread and butter, at the same time to be a knowledgeable persons of the society and understand the dynamics of the society, at the same time manage oneself, to make oneself self-sufficient, okay, self-reliant, at the same time to manage one's family and to be a productive member of the society. Means, you see, its objective is not only confined to a person, rather from a person it extends for taking the responsibility of a family, then after taking the responsibility for a society, okay, and in a larger context, as already we have discussed, we have mentioned that an educated person, you can say, it increase the horizon of an educated person, that increase from local to national, at the same time to the international level also. So that's why, friends, this is one of the you can say important dimension of education, that it works for the economic benefit of the person, for the family, for the society, and for the entire human civilization, you can say, human society, you can say. Further, we can discuss that this is another dimension of education, that is education for social development. Friends, you see, we all are living in the society. We are the social being. Okay, so in our society, you will find that the concept of a society, we very well know that the society is ever changing, ever dynamic. Okay, the society is not a static concept. The society is ever dynamic. Every moment, every day, every time, you will find that the society is changing. The rate of change may be slow, but the society is not stagnant. Okay, this society is ever moving, ever changing. So that's why here education helps a person, helps a society, helps a community for social development. You see, whatever things, whatever customs we have, whatever tradition we have, whatever social norms we have, you must have observed that the social norm is changing, the social parameters are changing, and this is because of you can say education. This is because of the intervention of education. Okay, when we talk about social mobility, you can say that social mobility may take place horizontally, it may take place vertically also. It may you can say that vertical in vertically positive social mobility is there, then negative social mobility is also there, but many a time you will find that because of education, from a lower strata, a person, an individual is moving towards to reach at a higher strata. Means, this is the education that enable the person, enable the individual to equip himself or herself to move from one strata to other strata. Okay, so that's why, for preserving our society, for transmitting our society, and for developing our society, there is education is a very crucial role. So that's why this is one of the dimension of education, that it works for social development. Okay, then further we can say that the another dimension of education, that is you can say education for political democracy, for achieving the political democracy. You see, friends, a democratic country, if will go through the values, the ethics, and the norms of a democratic society, a democratic constitution, you will find that it teaches us many things. And unless you are educated enough, then you cannot understand about what is there in our constitution, what is a political democracy, what is about our rights, what is about our responsibilities. Okay, what you can say, what we can do for the country. Okay, what country should give us and what we should give us. Okay, so that's why education helps us to understand a system of political democracy, the values of a political democracy, the spirit of a political democracy, the concept of a democracy, then accordingly to practice that democracy in day-to-day life, at the same time in social life, in group life. Let you are a student, so being a student, you must be practicing democracy in your classroom. You must be practicing the spirit of democracy in your school, the spirit of democracy, even if when you are playing with your friends in a group, the spirit of democracy in different social organizations, in different social institutions, in different social events. Okay, so that's why when we talk about from the lower level, means when we talk about our panchayat system, our local government system, we also practice democracy. Our school practices democracy. Any social institution, any social organization that develop, that practice the spirit of democracy, the norm of democracy, the concept of democracy. So that's why this is education. This is, you can say, one of the very important dimension of education, that it teaches us, it grooms us about to understand the political democracy as well as to practice this political democracy. Then further, the another dimension of education, that we can say, that education and human rights. Okay, you see, we often talk about the individual rights. Okay, you see, we all have our rights. Our democracy, our constitution has given us certain rights. Okay, at the same time we have the rights, but with the rights we have also the responsibilities. Okay, what we should work for the country, what we should work for our nation. Okay, so it may be you can say, from the lower level to the higher level we have certain responsibilities, but this is one of the dimension that education helps us to understand the human rights. You can say the preamble to the Indian Constitution reflects the basic principle of Universal Declaration of Human Rights. Justice, liberty, equality, and fraternity are the four basic ideals mentioned in it, and this forms the core of our Indian Constitution. Friends, you see, these four values, or the four, you can say, the major concept of our constitution, our democracy, that is the rights, justice, liberty, and equality. So, equality as well as the fraternity, means justice, liberty, equality, and fraternity. So when we talk about the rights, definitely we try to understand about justice, about liberty, about equality, and about fraternity. And when we talk about equality, our constitution, it helps us to understand not only equality, rather equity, at the same time quality. How to maintain a quality life, how to achieve equity. Means those are in the lower strata of the society, maybe in terms of education, maybe in terms of economy, maybe in terms of you can say in social group. Okay, so here our constitution teaches us not with equality, how we can work for equity, how we can lead that disadvantaged group of society, group of people of the society, and how to change their life, how to bring them, how to lead them to reach at a standard. Okay, so these values, these concepts that we have acquired, we understand from our constitution. Then you can say that in the year 1993, Protection of Human Rights Act was adopted, and soon after National Human Rights Commission was constituted with a former Chief Justice of India as its chairman. So friends, here you see, when we talk about human rights, means here we have the machinery, we have a system in our society, in our political democracy system, that in case there is the violation of human rights, then someone is the watchdog, means there observing the situation, whether there are violation of human rights or not. So here, when we talk about the human rights, we have also talked about the human responsibilities. Okay, we have come to this society, we are the citizen of this country, so that's why we have also responsibility for this society, for this entire nation. So that's why an educated person can better understand the human rights, at the same time one's responsibility for the society. So that's why we can say that education is one of the dimension for understanding the human rights and for working for achieving the human rights. Then further we can say that the another dimension of education, that is education for ethical development. Friends, you see, when we talk about our constitution also teaches us about the ethical values. Okay, with ethical values, other values also. So you can say the spirit of humanity, the value of humanity, and our responsibility in this society. Okay, so as I have already said that in our society you will find the section of people, the group of people are from different status. Okay, from different socio-economic group, from different disadvantaged sections also. Okay, and in our society you will find that people are from we have a system of caste, we have a system of other practices also. So here you will find that all are not economically all are not from economically well-to-do family. So that's why here you see ethical values of a person. It teaches us how to work for the downtrodden, how to work for the poor, how to work for the disadvantaged section of the society. So that's why education teaches us about the ethical development and development of other values, the moral values, spiritual values, and other values. Then further we can also say that another dimension of education, that is education for culture. You see, friends, our identification, our identity of an individual is because of one's culture, means where we are living, in the society where we are living, the culture that we practice, our culture, our way of living, our languages, our customs, our traditions, our value system. Okay, so here you see education helps us to understand our culture. At the same time, it also helps us to preserve our culture, to present our culture in another society, to present our culture internationally. Okay, in a cultural exchange program, so what we do, we represent our culture, we represent the richness of our culture. Friends, we have many diversities in our society, in our culture. Okay, when we talk about the people, it's their customs, their languages, their way of living. Okay, from you can say the extreme north to the extreme south of this country. And when we talk about the spread of languages, the spread of other practices of our society, you will find that we have many diversities. And friends, we consider all our diversities as our strength. Our diversities are not our weaknesses. Okay, so our diversities helps us to understand ourselves, and we consider that this is the beauty of our nation, this is the beauty of our country. So friends, this is another dimension of education, to understand our culture, at the same time to preserve the culture, to transmit the culture, to represent the culture, and to develop the culture also. Friends, if you'll have a look, and if you'll go through the cultural tradition, our society earlier means our earlier tradition, you will find that many things has been changed as per the need, as per the you can say changing need of the society, as per the changes of science and technology. So friends, here you will find that you must have experienced, you must have observed that because of because of education, because of development in science and technologies, that also equally helps for changing our society, at the same time for changing our culture, okay, for developing our culture. Then further we can say that the another dimension of education, that is education and aesthetics. Okay, so if we talk about the values, we talk about the beauty, we talk about we realize or we feel the beauty of the society, the beauty of certain literature, the beauty of certain creative work. So here you see education helps us to feel, to realize the beauty of certain things. So friends, when we are part of our environment, we are part of our society. In a society many good things are happening. In our environment you will find that many good things are happening. Okay, and when you are studying a literature, you also feeling a type of beauty. You are realizing certain good things within you. Okay, so when you were going reading a literature, when you are going through a literature, maybe in terms of a poem, maybe in terms of a story, maybe in terms of any literature. Okay, so here we develop a sense of beauty, we develop a sense of, you can say, a beautiful creation, we realize certain things. So here education helps us to to feel the aesthetics values of something. So friends, this is also another dimension that education helps us to develop the aesthetics. It helps us to achieve, helps us to modify, help us to develop, and to you can say transmit our culture, conserve our culture. At the same time, for our ethical development, values and other ethical and other development of values. Then education also helps us for achieving the human rights. At the same time, it also helps us for understanding the political democracy and to practice the political democracy. It also further works for the social development, and definitely it also helps us for achieving the economic benefits. So friends, these are the certain dimensions of education that has been discussed in Unit 12 of your course MES 011 of MA Education program. Thank you.